The Trojan War is one of the most famous and epic tales in ancient Greek mythology. It was a legendary conflict between the city of Troy and the allied forces of Greece, which has been immortalized in literature, particularly by the ancient poets Homer in his Iliad and Odyssey. Though its historicity is debated, the Trojan War is a blend of myth and history, set in the 12th or 13th century BCE. It begins with divine quarrels and ends in the fall of a mighty city, shaping Greek mythology and the Western literary canon. Here's the full story of the Trojan War, as told through myth and legend. The roots of the Trojan War can be traced to a fateful event at a wedding, where the seeds of discord were sown by the gods themselves. The wedding was that of Peleus, a mortal king, and Thetis, a sea nymph, parents of the great warrior Achilles. All the gods were invited, except for Eris, the goddess of discord. In revenge for her exclusion, Eris threw a golden apple among the guests with the inscription, "To the fairest." The three goddesses Hera, queen of the gods, Athena, goddess of wisdom, and Aphrodite, goddess of love, all claimed the apple. To settle the dispute, they asked Zeus to choose the fairest, but Zeus wisely refused and passed the decision to Paris, a prince of Troy. Paris was approached by each goddess with promises of rewards. Hera promised him power, Athena offered wisdom and military prowess, and Aphrodite promised him the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen, the wife of King Menelaus of Sparta. Paris chose Aphrodite, setting the stage for disaster. Paris, aided by Aphrodite, traveled to Sparta, where he was welcomed as a guest by Menelaus and Helen. Paris was struck by Helen's beauty and charm. During Menelaus's absence, Paris and Helen grew closer. Eventually, Paris abducted or eloped with Helen and took her back to Troy. This act was considered an unforgivable insult to Menelaus and all of Greece. The betrayal was a catalyst for the legendary conflict. Enraged by the betrayal, Menelaus called upon his brother Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, to help him recover Helen. The stage was set for the Trojan War. Agamemnon agreed and gathered a vast alliance of Greek kings and heroes, including Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, and Nestor, to launch an expedition to Troy. This was the beginning of the Trojan War. The Greek forces set sail for Troy, a city located in Asia Minor, which is modern-day Turkey, and laid siege to it. The war would drag on for 10 years, marked by fierce battles, heroic feats, and divine intervention. The Greek gods themselves took sides in the conflict, with Hera, Athena, and Poseidon supporting the Greeks, while Aphrodite, Apollo, and Ares aided the Trojans. The epic journey to Troy was fraught with challenges, but the Greeks were determined to reclaim Helen and achieve victory. Key figures in the Trojan War. Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Greeks, born to Thetis and Peleus, invulnerable, except for his heel. His rage and prowess on the battlefield were unmatched. Hector, the Trojan prince and Troy's greatest defender, known for his bravery and nobility. He was the brother of Paris. Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, known for his cunning and strategic mind, who played a key role in both the war and its aftermath. Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces, driven by ambition and pride. Priam, the aged king of Troy, who watched as his city was besieged by the Greeks. Helen, the beautiful queen whose abduction by Paris set the war in motion, often referred to as the face that launched 1,000 ships. The Greeks besieged the city of Troy for 10 long years, but the city's mighty walls, built by the gods, and the courage of its warriors, kept them at bay. During this time, there were many notable events, including the duel between Paris and Menelaus. Early in the war, Paris and Menelaus faced each other in single combat, but Paris was saved by Aphrodite before he could be killed. The wrath of Achilles. Early in the war, Achilles became enraged with Agamemnon over a dispute involving the captive woman Briseis. Achilles withdrew from the fighting, leading to heavy losses for the Greeks. The death of Patroclus. Achilles' close friend Patroclus donned Achilles' armor and fought in his place, but he was killed by Hector, leading to Achilles' return to the battlefield. The death of Hector. In a dramatic encounter, Achilles fought Hector outside the gates of Troy and killed him in revenge for Patroclus' death. Achilles desecrated Hector's body by dragging it behind his chariot, though later he returned it to King Priam after the old king pleaded with him. The war finally turned in the Greeks' favor through the cleverness of Odysseus. After a decade of fighting, the Greeks devised a cunning plan to end the siege. They built a giant wooden horse, hollowed out to conceal Greek soldiers inside. Then, the Greek army pretended to sail away, leaving the horse as a gift for the Trojans. Believing the war to be over and the horse to be an offering to the gods, the Trojans brought it into the city, despite warnings from Cassandra, the prophetess, and Laocoon, a priest who famously said, "Beware of Greeks bearing gifts." That night, while the Trojans celebrated their apparent victory, the Greek soldiers emerged from the horse, opened the gates of the city, and let the Greek army in. The Greeks sacked Troy, killing its men, enslaving its women and children, and burning the city to the ground. King Priam was killed, Paris met his end, and Helen was returned to Menelaus. The long and bloody war had finally come to an end. The end of the Trojan War marked the fall of one of the greatest cities in myth, but it also set the stage for further epic stories, Odysseus' journey. After the war, Odysseus embarked on a 10-year journey home to Ithaca, a tale told in Homer's Odyssey. The fate of Aeneas. According to later Roman mythology, Aeneas, a Trojan prince, escaped the destruction of Troy and journeyed to Italy, where his descendants would eventually found Rome. This story is told in Virgil's Aeneid. The Trojan War, whether purely mythical or based on historical events, left a lasting mark on Western literature and culture. Its themes of heroism, honor, love, and betrayal have inspired countless works of art, literature, and drama through the ages. Modern archaeology continues to uncover new insights into the historical basis of the Trojan War, revealing the enduring fascination with this epic conflict. Today, the ruins of ancient Troy attract visitors from around the world, eager to connect with this legendary past. The legacy of the Trojan War lives on in theater, literature, and the collective imagination of humanity. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to increase your brain power, check the links in the description.